Hey Dreamers, this is Jade, and I am finally back with another TV Journal with Me episode. Now, I've decided to switch up how I've been doing it because my old way is just not going to work for me anymore. I'm super behind, there's no way I can catch up. And so I'm just kind of going to be journaling what I feel like journaling now instead of trying to keep up with what I'm watching from month to month. And my latest television series that I am completely obsessed with and loving is the Umbrella Academy. Now, actually, I've been obsessed with this show since it premiered way back in February of 2019. Now, it took them a year and a half to bring us the second season, but oh, was it worth the wait, okay? First of all, if you're not familiar with the Umbrella Academy, it is on Netflix, number one, and it's also based off a set of comic books. I had no knowledge of the comic books before this premiered actually on air, and I have not since read the comic books, but I just wanted you to know because some of us be like, oh, they're comic books, I'm gonna grab that. So I'm going to be discussing season 2 since that is what recently dropped on Netflix. If you have not watched the show and you think that you may be interested, let me read the blurb out first. It says it's about a dysfunctional family of adopted sibling superheroes who reunite to solve the mystery of their father's death and the threat of an impending apocalypse. If you think you might want to watch it and you don't want to be spoiled, you can either mute this or come back to it after you've binged the Umbrella Academy because it is so good, guys. So, for the rest of us who are all caught up in season 2, we find the siblings time jumped into the 60s. They all end up in different years. And so we find first Klaus and Ben, and I think they end up in 1960. And ever Klaus, you guys, he ends up starting a cult, and that's just so Klaus. And then Diego, he ends up in a mental institution because he's in the year where Kennedy gets assassinated. And he's determined to stop it. So people just think he's crazy. So he's in a mental institution right now. Allison drops through, and of course, this is the 60s, so she ends up working at a beauty salon and getting very involved in the civil rights movement since that was still going on back there, and well, hell, still going on now, but really heavily going on in the 60s. And then we have Vanya, poor thing, she drops through, and she doesn't remember anything that happened from back in 2019. And so the only thing that Vanya remembers is her name. She accidentally gets hit by a car, thankfully not hard or anything like that. And the family that hits her takes her in, so she ends up on a farm. Luther ends up working for this mob boss, and it's like a mob boss in real history, and I just can't remember his name, forgive me. So we have all of the siblings there. Finally, 5 drops through time, and once he gets there, it's again the apocalypse. He comes out, he sees all his siblings fighting in this war. They brought nuclear war to the 60s, and he finds an article saying basically how the world is basically going to be destroyed again with nuclear war. So 5 again is on a mission to reunite his siblings and stop the end of the world yet again. He gets this last message from Hazel, and so now he has to get the crew back together so they can do what they do, and the shenanigans and hilarity ensue. I absolutely adored season 2. First of all, they had me in season 1. They had me at the dance scene. I don't know if you guys remember that song by Tiffany that came out a long time ago, back in the 80s. I think we're alone now. Yeah. So the kids in the first show, they had reunited for their fathers, the death of their father, to mourn him, whatever. And they cut on that song. Luther cuts on that song, and then you see all of them in their different places in the house. They all start dancing to the song, so you know it's like a family kind of thing or whatever. And they had me at the family song and dance. I just absolutely loved it. And season 2 was such a fun ride. I loved it even more than season 1, and I didn't know if too much could hold up to Cha-Cha and Hazel because they were great. But again, we see the siblings fighting with the commission. It's just like the shenanigans and all of the danger and all of the hilarity going on in this series is it's phenomenal, and I just love the way they weave the stories together. So then you have like the mini reunions first before you have the reunion of the siblings in their entirety. First, let's see, we have Diego and Five. Five finds Diego in the mental institution, and he ends up breaking out and bringing this other character with him named Lila. And then we see Luther and Vanya reunite. Like I said, Vanya does not remember what's going on, but Luther remembers what he did to Vanya, and so he's very apologetic about it. He feels really, really bad about it, and so he finds her on the farm, and they have a discussion. And then Allison finds Klaus because, like I said, she's involved in like the civil rights movement, and she ended up getting married, and her husband got arrested, so she was at the jail, and Klaus was in the jail as well. Because again, Klaus is Klaus, and so he's in jail. And he actually ends up having a discussion with her husband, not knowing that he is married to Allison. And so Allison was at the jail to see her husband, and she sees this guy with the hello goodbye that Klaus has on his hands. And she's like, yeah, where's the guy? Where did you get that? Or whatever. So that's how she discovers Klaus. And then, let's see, I think those are like the mini reunions first. And then they all here and there end up running into each other. And Five is trying to get everybody back together because he's like, we brought the apocalypse back with us, guys. We have to deal with this or whatever. But it's like they all are like, oh no, I'm living my own life. I got other stuff I'm more concerned with. And I'm like, guys, you're not going to be concerned with anything if the apocalypse happens yet again. So come on. So just it's fun. It's such a fun show. Like, I cannot tell you how fun this show is. From the first season, Klaus is my absolute favorite. He is somebody, I was reading something and somebody described his energy, just not only the character, but the guy Robert Sheehan who plays Klaus described him as he seems like he has chill yet chaotic energy, and I just thought that was the most appropriate and perfect description of him. And seriously, like, I could seriously be best friends with this Robert kid, because he is so much fun, and he's just funny for no reason. And then Five, the kid who plays Five, so I found out this kid played Nikki, I think it was, on that Nickelodeon show with about the trip, Nikki, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn, or something like that. Quadruplets, maybe, I don't know. I know my nephew used to watch it, and so I would catch episodes every now and again with him. I don't know if he still watches it, but anyway, this kid is still an actual kid. He's number 5, and I really, all the other ones have actual names besides just their numbers, but everybody still calls 5. So I want to know if this kid has a real name. But in the show, 5, even though he is in this 16-year-old body, is like a 58-year-old man. Because of the events that happened in the first season. And whoever this kid is, bravo. I mean, like, I am convinced that he is an actual 58-year-old stuck in a 16-year-old's body. And somebody had made this comment on something I was reading or a video I had watched, that they really wish that 5 would show more affection towards his siblings and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, ma'am, to me, I did not respond this to her because, really, did we watch the same show? Okay, no, 5 is not like a traditional, oh my god, I love you, hugs, blah, blah, blah type of sibling. However, 5's mission from season 1 on through the end of season 2 is to make sure his family is alive and safe. That's it. 5 does whatever he has to do to make sure his family is safe. And when I say whatever, I mean whatever. Okay? So that's how he shows his love for his family. He wants to make sure they are safe, they are alive, and they are healthy, and they are together. That is his mission. point blank and period. So just because he's not like one of those touchy feely type of siblings, like seriously, like all of the shit he goes through to keep them alive, come on now. Anywho, I absolutely adore this show. Gotta read out the quotes for you. They're both Klaus because he is freaking hilarious. And it just, one of them says, if you're gonna if you're gonna keep undressing me with your eyes, I'm gonna catch cold. And then the other one is, I know it's impossible, but did we all get sexier when they're all finally reunited and have to try to figure out how to end the apocalypse? So yeah, I just absolutely love this show. And to me, it's very apparent because after I watched the second season, I actually went back and binge the entire the entire show again. But all of them, their powers, I think all of them have untapped potential in their powers, especially Klaus. Um, there are things he discovers more about his powers in this season, and I think that all of them have things with their powers that they have not yet even discovered or tapped into yet. So it's gonna be a fun adventure to continue watching this show. So I hope they continue it. If you've not watched it, you guys seriously check it out on Netflix, The Umbrella Academy. So I'm going to hush. I'm almost at the end of this anyway. And so if you have any comments or questions about anything, you can definitely leave those below. Hope everyone is safe and well, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!